Hi, this is the Open Gym, and today we're bouldering. We're here with Ned. He's an ace climber. He's the owner of the Little Gym Cambridge. I've done a bit of this before, the girls done a little bit before. Danny hasn't at all. And yeah, we're going to be showing the ropes, except it's bouldering, so there are no ropes.
And why do we use chalk, Ned?
Chalk to absorb sweat.
Ah.
You get sweaty hands.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when I grabbed that yellow thing was my hand's going to slide right off.
One of the most accessible sorts of climbing is bouldering, which is a wall like this. You don't need to use a rope. You don't even need any specialist equipment, just kind of comfortable clothes. And it's a great way to kind of experiment and play around with movement. You don't need to be taught, you don't need formal instruction at all. It's just experimenting, playing around with different holds and getting used to how your body moves, not just up and down, but left and right and overhangs, and just kind of playing around with the fine adjustments that make so much difference to how easy or how hard the climb is. So your hands kind of act to keep you close to the wall, but you want to have as much of the weight of your feet, so you want your hips as close to the wall as possible.
Okay.
So you don't want to have your sagging bum away from the wall. You want to have your chest and your hips nice and close to the wall, and then you want to kind of play with the position of your knees and your hips to keep your hips close to the wall as you move.
Presumably to reduce the amount of effort and strain on your
It's like your
arms.
legs do most of the work.
So you go for longer.
Straight arms.
Straight arms.
Straight arms.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Because if you've got a bent arm, you're just burning energy, whereas on a straight arm, it's just hanging on tendons and moving.
It's strange because we say the exact same thing for cheerleading.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but often you can kind of climb around a straight arm.
Right. That'd be
So-
cool to see a demo. That sounds incredibly counterintuitive.
So you can keep your arm straight as you go up,
Okay.
as opposed to,
That makes more
so you're
sense.
using your legs to push you,
Leave
as
it.
opposed to your arms to pull you. So it's a straight arm,
Keep that straight.
and get your left foot and right foot up.
I'm going to stick to one colour.
Really?
Well, kind of warming up, it's alright to diversify.
Okay.
Very nice drill that you can do
Cool.
for getting your efficiency on the rock as good as possible and your kind of body positioning as good as possible,
Yeah.
which is trying to climb completely silently without
Grunting.
without more like without doing this.
Okay.
So whenever you put your foot on a hold, you put it on as precisely as possible. First time in a really nice place, trying to use the kind of inside edge of your foot.
So you don't recommend toe pointing at them like that?
No.
Okay.
So you want to be, because if you're on your toe, that pushes your hips
Backwards.
away from the wall. Whereas if you're on the side of your foot, whether it's the inside or the outside, you can keep your hips much closer to the wall.
Oh, look at this. That's cool.
So then you can, makes it much more efficient.
Man.
I've been climbing for, kind of on and off for about 20 years. And I started climbing to look for something physically challenging that you could do kind of outdoors and indoors. And it's got a great kind of physical challenge as well as combined with a brilliant kind of chess. So you're having to work out problems, but you've always got this kind of ticking clock of how much energy you've got left in your muscles. So often you're struggling to hold on, and you've got to work out the sequence of moves that you're about to do next. That's what makes it such an awesome sport.
What's your favourite colour?
I like yellow. So there's some really fun games you can play bouldering, because it's a really social activity, whereas climbing longer routes with a rope is normally done in pairs, and normally one person climbs for a few minutes and then the next person has a go. With bouldering you can play games like the game of the silent feet game, where you try not to make any noise whilst climbing, or you can play a nice game called add-on, where the first person starts and chooses one hold, for example this one, and then the next person goes and they have to climb using that hold, and then they add one more hold on, and then the next person who climbs adds one more hold on to the sequence, and you have to memorize the sequence as you go, and it's kind of knockout and keeps going until there's just one person left. It's a fun game.
Presumably when you're on the corner. Oh yeah.